Welcome back to the CHG podcast, everybody.
Xbox did it. We
Xbox
good.
done did some
What kind of?
shit.
Hold on, we'll talk about it.
Xbox done did some shit. They came, good old Philly Phil,
They done
coming
did the
in.
thing.
They did the
they
thing.
needed to do.
So we're gonna skip everything else. We're gonna go straight into the Xbox showcase that was this past Sunday. So we'll be a little late. It'll be about a week after the fact, but hey ho, it is what it is. Man, this was a good showcase. This was a good showcase.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was a good
Pretty
showcase.
People are having their complaints, and we'll talk about that. But I think overall, especially in light of Sony's showcase, I think Xbox did very well.
Yes, I was talking to a guy and he kept saying that the PlayStation Showcase was like all right, it's like mid. A lot of people were saying it was mid. I was like, it was below mid. I'm sorry, it was below mid. It was not a 5. This was like a 3, like for sure. First of all, it was only 40 minutes. I mean, I like their format better than Xbox's. Like, they had a couple people come in here and there. I don't want anyone anymore. Like since Sony started doing that, like some years ago, I think like 2017 or so, they started like streamlining it more, and people started copying it.
But then we don't get Keanu Reeves like talking to the camera, and then like just
Okay.
running off stage.
I don't need that. I'm sorry. You can have him do a pre-recorded goofy thing like he did for Ubisoft's, or not Ubisoft's. Yeah, for Xboxes. Yeah, for Xboxes on this Liberty, the Phantom Liberty DLC. But
that's what I'm talking about.
That's fine.
He just ran off stage for some reason.
Give me
just
pre-recorded shit all day.
It didn't. I love it. Didn't fade to black. They could have just faded to black after he said his thing, but he was just like, and he just ran off stage.
Yeah,
I
mean, it's funny, but most of the time,
Keanu.
But the thing is, but then we kept getting, with that also comes the other side, which that means like stupid music performances. Ubisoft's always like, just dance performers that nobody cares about. So it's just so I like that format better. Granted, Xbox did it very, very sparingly, only a couple times that people show up to talk, but I like it. I do like it when it's just no one really talking. Just show me the shit, man. That's all I'm here for. Show me the shit.
But the thing is that Xbox had shit.
But like PlayStation, when they showed us the shit, they showed us shit. Like it was nothing but showing the shit. But the shit they showed was shit. So like it was the only thing it really had was the MGS MGS Delta remake with the first remastered or collection they're doing, and then Spider-Man, of course, closing it out, and then like maybe you have a couple other small ones that you might like. For instance, like I'm into the Phantom Blade Zero thing, but like I know that's going to be kind of like a smaller cult classic thing, kind of like what Wolong Fallen Dynasty is kind of looking to become, honestly. So, but that's just my deal. But like there was just, I mean, first of all, they had such a lack of first party stuff, and maybe because they've exhausted it the last few years, they have nothing that maybe. I mean, every year can't be a banger, I guess. I guess every year can't. I mean, Xbox knows every year can't be a banger, and so what it is. But you have to call it like you see it.
We talked about Sony's already, so let's get to Microsoft.
Xbox came in. And man, if you want to talk about who won, not what they're calling nowadays the not E3 season, Xbox done
let's
fucking
just say
won.
Xbox did real good. PlayStation did anywhere from mid to
bad.
lower
mid
than
to bad. Mid to bad.
In our opinions.
I did watch the others. We're not going to cover them, but I did watch Capcom's, which was like pointless. Like it wasn't even bad. It was just pointless. Yeah. It was like a half hour. The only thing they showed that was really of any note was Dragon Dogma 2. They showed some more extended gameplay, which hey, I mean, great.
Capcom had a game in Xbox's showcase as well.
Yes. Well, I think.
Although
Dragon's Dogma was announced at PlayStation's too. It was. But it wasn't worth a half hour show conference. It was more like a direct. Like they showed Exoprimal more in depth, which I really don't know why they're pushing that so hard. I don't think it's going to do as well as they wanted to.
New IP.
But yeah, Exo Primal was shown more. Darkest Dogma was shown more, but then they just kept talking about things like more like Street Fighter 5 or sorry 6, like with like other things that are coming, and then Resident Evil 4 in the VR mode, and then like a couple other things that like already are out or very well known about. So it was like, why is this here? So it was more like kind of just an afterthought, and Ubisoft was alright. But nothing. They're bringing Skate into Riders Republic. The game Skate, which I actually got. That's I'm like, I might actually have to get this game now, like sooner than I thought. But Xbox's far and wide was the best one. It was a great mix of first party support with a lot of third party sprinklings all across it. Most of the games were like either niche to AAA, not like in the couple indie more smaller titles that they showed. It wasn't too much, and it was pretty varied,
and they were cool concepts.
Yeah, like they covered the scope of a lot of things.
I'm gonna murder the name, so I'm not even gonna try. So I'm just gonna describe it. The climbing game. The climbing game, like, is a cool concept, and like it. The art looks good. It's from Don't Nod.
That one.
Wait, no.
That's
is that the one?
Yeah, the other one, because they have two games they're working on.
Yeah,
there's two games. I think it's Jusant. Yeah, Jusant.
That's Jusant. Yeah, it's like a French name for climbing, maybe. I don't know, but is it Don't Nod?
It's Don't Nod. They have two games. They're working on that, and they're working on that bigger one with the that mixed race couple, which I'm all about that life. But
we know it's gonna have a good story. They haven't really done a game that's been like gameplay-y, and this looks gameplay-y. So that looks cool. The art was cool. The idea of making a whole game around climbing, we haven't really had that. I mean, Zelda had a lot of climbing stuff, but this is like, you're putting in stakes, and you gotta manage your. It seems like you'll have to manage your stamina and put in stakes so you can keep and make jumps and stuff. So that looks cool. So even like the indie stuff that I probably will never play looks cool for the people who are gonna play it. Let's get let's go with. Do you want to go with your favorites or go with the bangers first?
I have a list. I have the whole list.
You have a list. Okay.
Yeah, so here's what we're gonna do. I have a window. So actually, you don't see this, David, till you see the recording. But I apologize for his side of the screen changing to the window. I'm still used. No, it's there now. It's back. But like I'm still getting used to OBS. But I figured it out. I have the games on a different window, so it's not going to be captured here. So I do have them up. This list is kind of not the same. I don't think it's in the same order that they announced them. I could be wrong. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this is on Xbox's actual site. So it's you can't get more official than that. So the first game, Avowed, the new one by Obsidian, I believe.
So like what I said, Obsidian? They needed the show.
Obsidian. What? There we go. It's Obsidian.
Yeah. Obsidian. What I said, they needed the show, and they showed it. It was different than the trailer we got back when they announced it. I heard a lot of people have been saying that the announcement trailer was like real dark, and it was in a dungeon, and then skeleton popped out of nowhere. This looks a lot like the art style and the vibe of their what's the space game? Blanking.
Outer
Worlds.
Outer World. Yes.
Yeah. Outer World. It looks like they're using the same engine, which kind of sucks. But we don't really expect Obsidian to do graphic-y stuff. If they give us though the storytelling of Outer World, and then but in a fantasy setting, I'm fine with that. Like they got swords and magic and flintlock pistols, and I heard it's also in the world of another RPG game that's more like oh god, I'm murdering this. Hold on, I'm gonna do some looking up. But
it doesn't say on this little thing on their site. But Pillars of Eternity.
Pillars of Eternity. Thank you. So you already have like a deep background to draw from, and we all know that they're good with stories. Mm-hmm. So if I get like a really good fantasy story from like they did for Outer World, but with magic and guns kind of and swords, I think it looks really cool. I'm excited for it. I loved Outer Worlds. I love I love everything from Obsidian so far, so I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, their track record is very, very good. No, there was this. I think it was. I'll have to look it up. There was this. I think it was Obsidian. They had like this more like indie style looking game that was kind of set in like in a Bohemian world. I'm pretty sure that was Obsidian as well. I think they had like a small team working on it. It's already out. But when we were talking about this before, because we were getting confused with the game, I was talking about this like indie style kind of game. But it could be a different developer. Anyway, well, what I'm hoping though with this game is that I hope that they kind of stick, because like Outer Worlds was, what was nice about it was that it was a really good, engaging, rich game, storytelling wise, combat wise, just what we expect. But the good thing that a lot of people were actually talking about was the fact that it wasn't too long. It was like 20 hours at most to do everything. Yeah. And so I'm kind of hoping that they kind of keep that maybe a little bit bigger, 25, 30 hours.
I think here's my guess, is that it gets to the 40, 50 hour mark. 40, 50 hours, I think, is a good place for them to be at. Mm-hmm. Other games like Diablo that just came out sets the main campaign at 40, 50 hours. We've seen other popular games do around the 30 to 50 hour mark. I think that's good. I think that's a good gameplay time. I would like that to be the main story campaign, and then you can do other things to lengthen that game. That's just me personally, because I'll live in this world forever.
Yeah, well,
that's just me.
Because you're not.
They got the money behind it.
I'm not. That's not why I just want it to be that, because I think we need to have a subset of these longer RPGs that aren't that long. And I know maybe for you, 40, 50 isn't that long, but for someone who likes to play a lot of different games in quick succession, that's too long. Like so like 20 hours is like beautiful. 20, 30 hours, oh, beautiful. You can get that done in like a couple of weeks or maybe a month at most, right? If you're playing for a decent amount of time. I know some people, there's a fan of ours, Rob Goblin. He scoffs at that. He's like, you better give me a 100-hour RPG or I don't want it. Like, he's that kind of guy, right? But for me, who goes through games a lot and wants to clear up a fucking backlog, 30 hours is just mwah. So that's why I personally hope that this game isn't another big old RPG, but it probably will. But anyways, moving on. So after Val, we got. So here's was an interesting game. Clockwork Revolution.
Oh, that was what they ended their showcase with.
It wasn't ending. It was close to ending. It was close to the
end. They had their 45 minutes of Starfield.
Well, I meant in the regular showcase, it was one of the last games shown, and they pulled a fast one. I was like, this is BioShock 4. This is BioShock 4. This is the fourth BioShock.
It looks like BioShock 4.
I absolutely thought this was gonna be BioShock 4, and then
it might as well be.
It really might as well. Like I wouldn't be surprised if some of these devs that are in this part of the studio came from was it Frictional Games? I think was the dev team who made BioShock. Whatever dev team that was, or Irrational Games. I think.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
Which makes the Wasteland series. Which
they make Wasteland.
People,
I know those guys.
Yeah, they make Wasteland.
I know those guys.
And then those guys came from the original Fallout team.
Oh, okay. So there's a pedigree of making good games.
And the thing is making good, like, top-down, turn-based RPG games.
Mm-hmm. But here's this. That was loud in my headphones. Oh my god.
This is different.
Yeah, this can be like what?
Hold on, pause. I need to do husbandly stuff, I think.
Cut.
What's up, love? Certainly is. I will put him in the wash. Okay, we had some heavy rain. So we've been averaging about a dead cockroach a day in the house.
All
so
right. Sounds like fun to me. Yeah. Resume.
Anyway, so the guys from Wasteland are doing the Clockwork game. But so this is the first game they've ever done in first person.
Yeah, this is first person.
So
game.
it's interesting. So like they were working on a game Fallout series that went from the traditional top down turn based to first person and blew up, right? Yeah. And now that team that kind of was pushed away because of that transition from them to Bethesda is now doing it themselves to this game. Well, hey, and they're hoping to like get into the big, to the big boys.
It is
leagues.
A bigger market. I mean, because Wasteland, it's kind of one of those under the rug games. You only know, it's one of those if you know type of series. I only know of it because from GameStop. I just saw it one day on the shelf, and I was great. What is this? And I just turned it on. I was like, oh. As soon as I saw that it was top down, I immediately got disinterested. But I learned more about it, and I was like, oh, it's actually a pretty good series for those who played it. Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping it's good. I think this is a third-party game, so I'm pretty sure it's not going to be exclusive. I'm excited for it. I mean, anything that reminds you of Bioshock Infinite is a win for me. So, yeah, so that was the next one on the list here. Next, a big one. That I think opened the show or was like really close to the early one. Fable.
Yeah.
Fable reboot or whatever they're calling it. It's being made by Playground Games, which if I'm not mistaken, they make Forza. I could be wrong. Oh wait, no, they don't. No. Or wait, did they make the Horizon ones?
Yeah, they made the Horizon one.
That's what it was. Okay, I knew they were related to Forza, but now they're taking the realms of Fable, which is interesting. I mean, it's always interesting when you have a dev team that's been doing one type of thing, and then they jump to a whole another thing.
And it's using the Forza tech engine,
which we'll see what happens. I mean, because
it's a good graphical. The thing with the Forza tech engine, and as long as they can translate this, and it looks so. Another thing we should mention is every game showed all the cinematics or whatever are in engine stuff. So I heard people say it's just as bad as CGI. I don't necessarily think that because CGI is non-representative at all.
Yeah, because CGI you can do crazy things with a CGI trailer.
You can do crazy things. All this is in game, so everything you saw is in game. Now, will that look like the game? Probably not, because they're able to scale up when they're not having to worry about background things that they're doing in an actual game. But it is a better representation of what we might see. And we've seen in Forza, cars look damn near real. Yeah. And water effects look damn near real. And sunsets in real time during a race. So if they can take all of that, and the trailer looked amazing. As like visually, and they can translate that to an RPG that if you're just like out there and then rain starts and the rain looks real, your clothes get wet real, because in the Forza engine, the tires reacted in time with how wet the conditions were. If they can do something with that, with conditions of just like around the world, that'll be cool.
Yeah,
that's getting closer to the original promise of the original Fable of watching a tree grow. It's not going to be that. But you can watch grass, roads get damp and get worn. That kind of stuff.
Who knows? Maybe this game could be the new king of grass physics and beat Ghost of Tsushima, which to me, that's the king of grass physics. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, I just hope that they don't run into an EA Frostbite issue, and so time will tell. As we move
I don't think. I mean, that's true. They could, but we'll see. I think that the trailer at least had the tone of a Fable game to me.
Tone-wise, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that stuff is great. The setting,
jokey, kind of vulgar-ish kind of feel to it. Yeah, I think the tone is set.
Great.
So.
But I just want to make sure the game doesn't break with this new engine, right?
True. And it was no real gameplay. I mean, there was maybe snippets that might have been, but no real gameplay. But it seems, at least from what we saw, if we translate the feel of that trailer, the action-y parts we did get of it, it feels like, okay, I can see that as a Fable game.
Yeah, me too.
But we'll have to see later on when we get actual gameplay.
All I say is keep Peter away from it. Keep Mr. Molyneux away from that game, okay? Because before you know
keep him off any forms of social media.
Could you imagine if he had made Fable now? Because he was saying the crazy,
we're gonna jack your brain,
yeah, like
your Xbox. You're gonna be living in Fable. Forget your wife. You're now married to this game. We'll have a ceremony. We'll throw some champagne your way.
You know how like that meme. If you die in the game, you die for real or whatever. Like it's in real life. He'd probably be like
Peter Molyneux would come to your house and shoot you.
Can you imagine?
Can we say it on YouTube?
Can you imagine him pitching VR? Like, anyways, that man's insane. Let's move on. What's the next game? So the next one actually is Forza, which they're just calling Forza now, not Forza 8.
Yeah, it's just Forza Motorsports.
Yeah, I think it would be 8 if they went with it. But
here's my thing. I don't even really think they need, what's the point in putting another number on it? It's Forza. You don't need to be told that it's the next Forza. Just a new Forza? There you go.
Done.
It's Forza Motorsports.
Done deal. Just give me Forza.
Dude, they don't can call the Ford F-150 the Ford F-150 18. It's just it's the 2024 Ford F-150. Cool.
Well, they could maybe didn't go the route of like F1 does, where they just call it F1 2023
or like sports games.
Sports games. Maybe they could do that instead, like Forza 2023 or whatever.
Yeah, something
But I there should be a distinction so you know which one you're playing, because if they're all just called Forza, how are you gonna know you got the one that's the latest one?
That's true. Slap a year on it and call it good.
Yeah, but anyways, Forza's like he just said, Forza's Forza, right? You know what's going on. It's going to be the pinnacle of graphical fidelity for cars.
It'll look good. It'll sound good. Yeah. It'll play good.
And what else do you want? I mean, I'm sure there'll be a robust career mode. No one cares. They just want to see those cars and drive.
Now, as someone who is now RJ's really in the racers, but I'm into the career mode racers. I want it to be a grind. I know that sounds bad. I don't mean it like a grind that makes you want to buy currency. I don't want currency. I want a grind that I start with a used Honda Civic.
You mean like a general traditional progression system?
Exactly.
Not everything's open from the start.
They give me 10,000 credits to start, and I gotta buy a 6,000 credit Honda Civic, and maybe I put a flywheel on it, and then I'm out of money. And then I gotta just grind that F series, F grade, and go all the way up. Yeah. Old school Gran Turismo.
Or just old school any game, any racing game, really.
I do not want to start, and I know they're gonna do it. I know they're going to, but I do not want to start this game driving the new Corvette for a lap and being like, "Welcome to Forza. Here's a Corvette." I don't want it. I want to be like. Here's a car that can barely start.
You want that Ford Focus from 2006?
Exactly.
That's what he wants.
That's what I want. But I know they're gonna do it. They have, they always have the cover car, and you always drive the cover car in the, to warm you up to Forza. I don't want it, but whatever. I can dream.
Well, we'll see what happens, because I think Forza Horizon 5 was the first time they did that. I think the other ones, it was traditional progression. So
it was a lot more traditional.
I mean, I don't agree with it either. Granted, I didn't play Forza Horizon 5, but I did play another game that did that, which was Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. The remake that Criterion did. It has nothing to do with the original. It's actually way worse than the original. But that game, you have a pretty solid car that just throws you in there, and then you just find all the best cars. They're just there. You can get lucky, make a turn, find a Lambo or something good, and then you just get the car. You just get the car.
You earn that shit.
You just get the car. There's almost no. Yeah. The only thing you have to earn are the boss cars. But that's it, and they're not even sometimes as good as the car that you might have found just on the street. So it didn't really work for me either. Actually, it turned my brother off of the game immediately. He played before I did, and he was just like, I played for 30 minutes, and I saw wait, I just find cars. He's like, I'm done with this. I don't want to play this. Anyway, but as far as the Forza's good, no matter how you cut it. So moving on from that, here's a good one. Here's a fun one. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
Yeah.
Here's that year thing we're slapping on. 2024. There you go.
2024. There you go.
See, Forza should do the same
thing. They know how
to
do it. They know how to do it.
They know how to do it. So,
but I mean, it's basically Forza. We basically take what we said about Forza and just
put it for this.
Yeah,
and so
it'll look good, it'll sound good, it'll play good.
But it looks like they're actually this time now. It kind of reminds me of Titanfall to Titanfall 2, right? Where you have your blueprint. right? You just want to make sure all the fundamentals work and are functional,
and then you add
and then
bells
the
and
next
whistles.
one you just go nuts with it. As soon as
Yeah, they
yeah.
have like you can let's see, you can put out forest fires
Yeah,
in a
all types of anything that
you
involves
can
a
do
flying
plane
vehicle.
races. So like it actually does have game now.
Yeah, there's
Because
actually a
you can
game
do that.
behind this.
You can do the stunt flying in between the
Yep.
like the
Yep.
pillars, and they're having a collab with Dune.
Yep. Saw that too. So you get a
And
dope
so
ass
you can fly
spaceship or whatever that is.
the little fucking firefly
It
looking
looks like a freaking
thing. So that's
spaceship or
cool.
whatever.
You probably can't like do like firefights, but you can at least fly it around Dune.
But
Which
yeah,
is
so
cool
I'd
for
be
that,
curious
yeah.
to see if they turn that into some kind of like crazy career mode where you just learn all the different flying styles and stuff.
I think that they should try like I want more collabs. Like let's get like
Star Wars.
Star Wars exactly. Like and they like map space. Like I don't know, that'd be dope.
Dude, that's
That'd
too.
be dope.
They could do it if they map the world. I think they can map at least a couple solar systems. You know.
Exactly.
But yeah, like so it's gonna be another show. That's gonna be like your next showcase for the system, right? Like your big
Yeah.
system showcase. It's gonna be that
Another
one.
thing as we're going through it, I want to point out something that I have harked on a lot, that we have talked about a lot, that I think might be happening because
I noticed it too. I know what you're gonna say.
as they showed the trailers and the trailers came to the end and they listed the consoles that the trailer was going to be on, a lot of them did not have Xbox One listed.
And they didn't even, in the few times that people came up to talk, Phil didn't even mention Xbox One. He specifically was talking about Series X and S. So yeah, let's hope that, I mean, yeah,
it might be happening.
It was a nice initiative for the first couple years.
It was.
But
I'm fine with it being a transition. I'm not fine with it being
the norm.
Yeah.
So so what? And like when Forza was talked about, like when they were talking about Forza, they specifically said like coming to the Xbox Series X and S, and I didn't even hear them mention Xbox One at all. So I think for all you Xbox One guys that haven't moved on, it looks like you guys' days are numbered. I'm sorry, but it's time for Xbox to move on. It's going to be better for the system and your guys' brain as a whole, so don't be sad. Anyway, so moving on from that, here's another big one where they took a lot of time on. Senua Saga Hellblade 2. I'm sure this is going to be a fantastic game. This is going to be, I'm not saying it will be the same caliber, but I think Xbox is positioning this as their God of War.
Yeah,
in the sense of just it won't be as bombastic, it won't be as probably high stakes and everything like that, but it's like their big single player, very graphically impressive, emotional story that they have right now. So,
and I think what we'll see is another big jump in production as far as breadth of the story, because of the money behind Xbox. I imagine, I'm just guessing here, I'm imagining that it's because the first one was pretty short. I think it was like 6 to 8 hours, something along those lines. I think it's doubled at least. I think we're going to get 16 hours of gameplay.
And this is a studio that knows what they're doing. This wasn't, I mean, they had put out a AA sized game, yes, but they're not a AA studio. Like this is Ninja Theory, I believe it is, and they're an American company, and they made a lot of third party games in the PS3 360 era, and that were all pretty solid, So they know what they're doing when it comes to those single player stories, action titles, and such. And so that's how I think they're positioning this game, especially now with the extra funding behind. From Xbox. I'm hoping it does well. I still need to play the first one. It was one of those games that kind of really, really got me, which for those who, know, like not many games really catch my eye, but that one did. And I'm just hoping that it, this one does well. So, because you guys could do with a really good, flagship single player title that isn't Forza. So anyways, here's an interesting one. South of Midnight, made by the guys that did We Happy Few, which was interesting.
Yeah, I will say, out of all the trailers, for the people who are saying that this is basically like just CGI stuff, this is the most like CGI trailer.
It was.
It's still in game, and the art style looks dope.
That's what caught me. I love that southern.
We have no idea what this game is.
And you know what? I don't care right now. It was such a dope ass trailer.
It could be like anything from a choose your own adventure Telltale's game to a in-depth RPG turn-based game. No idea.
Well, we know it won't be a racing game, that's for sure.
It's just it could be. We don't know. Later on, the big giant playing the guitar and the girl with the picture could hop into 2 cars and race. We don't know anything about this game, but the art style looked cool. The sound design was cool. It was creepy.
Cool. But
it was
not
creepy.
too creepy, it was just everything.
It was just like edge. It had edge.
It had a little bit. It kind of reminded me of a Psychonauts almost, like kind of like unsettling, but like still charming.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Has a kind of aesthetic to it.
I'm excited to see more.
Yeah.
We have no idea what.
Yeah, we need to see more because that looks very cool. And if that becomes an Xbox, because I don't know,
cool
is that one of the studios they bought?
Yes, Ninja Theory. Ninja. No, oh wait.
This is
wait, no.
What do they call? Compulsion Games? Compulsion Games. That's their name.
What other games did they make?
We Happy Few.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
And Contrast. We Happy Few was the game that was also positioned as like a BioShock-like. It didn't do well though, but it had a lot of hype.
It just reminded people.
Oh,
of it
looks like it's going to be a third-person action-adventure game according to the Xbox site I'm looking at here. So, and you play as that girl named Hazel.
Third-person action-adventure. Okay.
Anyways,
but yeah, we'll have to see more. But yeah.
Yeah. So we're both interested in that one. So Xbox did have a whole separate second hour dedicated to Starfield. I did not watch it. There was no way I was going to sit down for an hour on one game, but they did also briefly show it at their regular direct to let you know about it. And so that trailer was actually pretty good. What do you feel about it, David? How do you feel about the trailer that showed at the regular showcase
for Starfield?
Yeah, because that's the next thing.
Yeah. So my thought on this was, I think that. Because is it officially confirmed that they're using Creation Ninja 2? I think it is, right?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm
pretty sure.
It's not going to be here.
What it reminded me more of visually was not Fallout 4 or 76, but it was another. It was an Obsidian. Who made the new Prey game? Was that Bethesda?
Arcane.
Or was that Arcane? It actually made me think of that kind of art style. Like the feel, the look to the weapons, the way the gunplay happened. I thought Prey. So I think that was actual gameplay. So I am tentatively, I'm more excited than even I was before. And I was very excited because, when they came out and said that you're going to be able to make your own starship, and we got to see we didn't see how to put them together, but we saw variations of different starships in the gameplay trailer. But I was already excited, and now with that, it doesn't look like to me, it didn't even look like a polished Fallout 4. It looked like a new game.
Yeah,
and a new engine.
With the trailer that they showed,
so I'm excited.
I was almost like, oh, like this is Starfield? Like it kind of caught me off guard with the trailer, like with the story beats that they were talking about. And I was like, what is going on in this game? Like, what is this plot about? Because it seems
exactly. So it looked like a new game. If you would have put that on screen and not told me what it was, I would not have thought Fallout. And I think that's what people were scared of, is that it would just look like Fallout.
Fallout in space is what people were saying.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Fallout. I think it looks like its own game, separate from anything that they've done before, which is good. I want it to look like its own game, but have the depth of the Fallout series as far as mechanic goes. So I'm impressed. I'm more looking forward to it now. And I was looking forward to it before, so I'm excited.
When September comes, when September comes and ends.
When September ends.
Anyway,
when September ends,
David will let us know as long as it doesn't get delayed.
I'll wake you all up. I'll wake you up when September ends.
Yes, please. If as long as it doesn't get delayed again, David will let us know.
I don't think so.
If it does look as, I don't think so either. But hey, I mean, you never know now.
I'll play it. Yeah.
He'll play it and he'll let us know if it does still look and feel like it's own identity when he has the full game. But until then, the trailer was pretty impressive, I'm gonna say. This other game this is kind of a little smaller title called Towerborn, the next adventure, Towerborn, that's just what it's called, and it's from the guys that made the Banner Saga, which I believe was a set of games about maybe one of the World
It was
Wars, I
it
think.
was turn based, kind of like just a strategy game. You also made decisions outside of combat that affected how your like who you had in your team and how they performed and what they did. So
Yeah.
they're good turn based kind of. It's not really turn based strategy, but it's like because you have instead of like on a top down, it was like a side to side, and like you had some people in the back, archers, and then forward people, and there was permadeath and all sorts of stuff, and it affected the storyline.
Yeah. So. So
More of that
we'll
would
have
be
to see
great.
how it goes. I mean, Banner Saga, it is on the indie scene, more on the indie side, but it is one of the better regarded indie games that are out there, and it's been that way for quite some time. So we'll see if this game holds up to that. But that's not really our venture, so we don't really have much interest
I
or
dabble,
knowledge.
but yeah.
Anyways, moving on. This other new game called 33 Immortals.
Yeah, 33 co-op play.
Yeah.
The way it was described to me was oh my gosh, sorry, I'm so tired. I have a new job.
They call it a co-op action roguelike for 33 different players.
Yes.
That's what they say.
What's the one that I played that I really liked with the Greek?
Hades.
Hades, thank you. It's like Hades, but with 33 people.
Which is ridiculous.
Which is ridiculous. So we'll see. The problem with these like massive multiplayer games, like the massive co-op games, is great idea, awesome if it works, but if it doesn't catch on with the player base and you don't have enough people to play, then it'll die off real fast, even if it's a good game.
Yeah.
If it's designed to be played with 33 people and you can't get 33 people to play, it has a built-in self-destruct button.
We'll have to see. Hopefully it's not a really egregious live service game or has a follow crazy model like that. I mean, I'm saying not that it can't have that, but I just hope it's not egregious if it does go that route. But again, one of the kind of quirky titles. I don't think either of us would play it, but it was shown off. At least it was something different. It helped bring that variety to like kind of make the showcase really well rounded. Anyways, moving on, City Skyline 2. I mean, it's a city builder. There's not much to say about it.
Looks great.
For those who like that kind of stuff, this is supposed to be the next one. Yeah, I mean, it kind of says it is. It says it in the title, City Skyline. It's like it's in the title. So
lay some pipes and
lay that pipe down, and bring that hammer down. Anyways, moving on. Another smaller title, Dungeons of Hinterberg. I don't remember this one being shown, as a matter of fact.
It didn't pop up.
I don't remember this one. So we'll just move on. And then kind of we touched on it earlier, Jasant, some climbing action game made by Dontnod. Really interesting. We'll have to see what happens.
I'll play it. It's on Game Pass, so I'll give it a go.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. And okay, so here's the funny thing that I was saying to myself in this in Xbox's thing. Xbox is either bribing or sucking a lot of dick on the Japanese developers because they are
bringing some
desperate.
Japanese
They
shit
have
right
been
now.
They have been like they're almost like begging and like please put these games on our system.
Yeah, I think we're about to talk about one of my favorite developers, one of my favorite series.
We're gonna go into Yakuza.
Atlas.
No.
We're not doing Atlas yet? I want to talk about Atlas.
Too bad. Yakuza Like a Dragon. We don't know if it's going to be if it's 8 or just a side game, but it's the next Yakuza Like a Dragon.
It was confirmed to be the same one that the Sony played that showed off. The agent, the man who changed his name. It's just like it's going to be a
side game.
The same game.
So a side game.
It's the same game that you're playing with as Kiwa, the main character of like the whole series, and then the main character of the Like a Dragon
this one's
series.
called Infinite Wealth. And he's in America. I know what game you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. This is, and that one is more focused on Kiryu from the first.
All right, my bad. I got confused then.
No, this is a separate one that they showed off.
Yeah, okay.
Where it stars the new protagonist, and he's in America for some reason. And
Hawaii, I believe.
I mean, isn't that not part of America?
Yeah, but it's like the why you make a distinction is that Japan has like a history with Hawaii.
Oh,
Because they're
yeah,
pretty close
yeah.
to one another. They share a lot of cultural similarities because of the blend.
They're not that close.
But
Hawaii
they're
and
pretty
Japan?
close. Yeah, they're in the Pacific.
Yeah, but there's a whole ocean between they're probably pretty far.
There's a whole ocean between us and Hawaii.
Yeah, but that's closer. Well, depending what part of the country it's closer. But anyways, regardless, it was a new game shown off from the series. I don't know if they're calling that 8 or if they're kind of treating it like Maynard changed his name and it's like a side game, like a side story thing or not. I don't know. Maybe it was confirmed, maybe it wasn't, but they showed it off for the first time. It was just a cool, funny trailer where he was naked and all that stuff or whatever. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with it. But again, it's just like, man, Xbox Phil is just sucking some Japanese dick or something, man. He wants to help David out and bring those Japanese titles to his system.
Hey, I get Atlas, so I'm solid.
It's just hilarious. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not mad about it, but it is funny. Next game is still not Atlas. It is Atlas. It's the new game made by Atlas.
Yes, that's what I'm excited for. Like
Metaphor.
I love I'm gonna play Persona 3. Don't get me wrong, it looks great. It's in the new engine. I'm pumped for it. But this new game by Atlas, I don't even know the name of it.
It's called Metaphor again with the re. What's up with Japanese and the re? Fantasio.
Cool. Metaphor. I'm just gonna call it Metaphor. It looks dope. If it's only Persona fantasy, sign me up. That's all it needs to be. I love Fire Emblem, and it kind of like got little Fire Emblem vibes, at least the setting.
Just minus the brutal permadeath.
I mean, yeah, if it's Persona but fantasy, I'm good. Like I can't wait. They had a little like cat kind of thing in it that looks better than the cat that was in Persona 5. Momo.
Look at David calling the shots over here.
I'm just saying. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to rizz up some girls. That's what the kids say nowadays, right?
Rizz up some girls.
That's what they say. It's stupid.
All right, you youngins in who are watching, let us confirm. Is that the new word?
I can confirm. I've been hanging around middle schoolers for the last 3 days, and I can confirm.
What other words have you learned? What else have you learned, David?
I don't.
What's on the street nowadays? What are the kids saying on the streets? Anyway,
I picked up Riz.
What I will say is,
turn my brain off.
What I will say is that what it says, the little blurb here, is that apparently it will be a full-scale fantasy RPG, and it's Atlas's first ever one. So we'll see. I think though, regardless of how it turns out, David will be a very happy boy. Continuing on with the Japanese, but this wasn't just shown at Xboxes, but the Kunitsugami Path of Goddess game, which, what did they say about it? It uses the RE engine because it's a Capcom game. Capcom showed this game off a bit more at their showcase as well, and I was like, RE engine, what?
Yeah, I'm thinking it'll be in the vein. It looked to me to be in the veins of like a Devil May Cry kind of action.
It almost did, but then some of those they showed me was a bit weird. So I don't know. I think I just need to see. I just need to see a straight up just play the game. Let me just see it played without anything. Weird, because the trailer was all over the place. At first I was interested, but then I saw something else. I was like, that looks weird. But then I got interested again. I don't even know. I just want to see the game. Just someone go demo the game for me, and then let me decide from there. Let me see all the abilities. Let me see the action. Let me see the style. Let me see how the RE engine works in a action game. That's going to be very strange. But yeah, by the way, the RE engine is good for what we've seen it so far. It is a fantastic engine. One of the best, in my opinion, going right now. So we'll see how that works for a heavy action game. Next is Payday 3. Got a gameplay trailer that's been in the works forever.
Since like 2016 or something.
It reminds me of like how we took us forever to get Dying Light 2 because they wouldn't stop supporting Dying Light, like the first one. Like Payday 2 is still one of the best played games, at least on PC. Still going, people still play the crap out of Payday 2. And so, but to get Payday 3 looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure more Payday fans are going to be in heaven. It didn't seem like we don't know. We don't know if it showed off, if it's like more than Payday 2 or if it's the same as Payday 2. All we know is Payday 3 and people are going to be happy. That's all I know. Maybe we should play that sometime, David. Some little co-op action on Payday, because put some little clown masks on. Okay, I think, is this the last one? These last two? Nope, not last two, but close. All right, here's the double whammy. Persona 3 Reloaded and Persona 5 Tactica. David continues to be happy and have that big old chub heart on. I heard that I had seen rumors of the P3 remake, but I was like, whatever, I'm not going to look at nothing until I see it. Looks like it was real. And actually, no, it was leaked. It was leaked on the store.
It was leaked by an employee, like on the official Atlas account.
Yeah, and also I think it was
they
on the
put out the trailers for both of these,
and I think it leaked onto the Xbox or PlayStation store as well. It was on the store briefly, so it got leaked real bad. But yeah, really cool to see that. I read actually though today or yesterday that apparently this P3 is not going to have any of the features from P3 FES. I think they called it the one that we just got, So you can't play as a female, which was like the shining, big thing of P3. At least the P3 Fez or FES, I forget what it's called, but that one, like, you couldn't play as a female.
Maybe they'll add it. Maybe they'll add it later.
I'm hoping they do, because like that's a really novel thing, because it changed the story. It changed the relationships you could be with. It changed the dialogue a lot of the time. So I hope they do eventually bring that back in later. I'm sure a lot of fans are going to be clamoring for that, to play as a female, especially since it's the only time you can in that game. Or, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if P6 has a female protagonist this time. I won't be surprised if they do it.
Yeah, they haven't done it.
I won't be surprised if they do it. And like, that's the only protagonist, not a Switch, just her. Anyways, can you imagine the waifus? Like it's so hard to make a waifu, like, when your main chick, your main player is the waifu. Like, oh man, it's gonna be hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, P3 getting remake. I think it uses the P5 engine, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like it. I hope it does well, because then I hope they'll do P4. Get P4 Golden like a remake, which would be, I'm sure, fantastic. But yeah, so I mean, not much to say about those, just a remake. And David is,
and then Tactics is
and Tactica, which is like
Tactica is just
a tactics
Persona
game?
But Final Fantasy Tactics, pretty much.
I never played Final Fantasy Tactics, but I know it is heavily endeared by those who have played it. It's apparently supposed to be a pretty solid tactics game.
If you played tactics games, it's that.
I could totally see
the characters.
I feel like you're gonna play David just because it's Persona 5, and just to give it a go, just to see what happens. I mean, it has the cute chibi figures or whatever you want to call it, so I mean, you can't go wrong. And then, which I was caught off guard positively. Star Wars Outlaws, Ubisoft's crack at a Star Wars game, which they showed off at their showcase,
which looked great.
Yeah, it caught me off. I mean, yes, Xbox's version was just the CGI cut, cinematic, which I was like, okay, I mean, that's fine. But I saw Ubisoft's where they actually showed gameplay. And it looked all right. It looked pretty good.
Yeah,
but
they people have been saying that like it's like a Star Wars Division feel for the game, the gameplay.
I mean,
I'm hoping
it's Ubisoft,
the game.
So what do you fucking expect? Like, I hope, because this is Star Wars and it's such a big, I hope they don't just slap on their normal Ubisoft formula into this game. I hope because it's Star Wars IP, they try some different things. I really hope
I mean, they could screw it up, but I don't think they will. People have been clamoring for a kind of outlaw, bounty hunter kind of thing forever, and they're doing it with this. It is not going to be, your own created character. You will be playing as this female protagonist, but whatever. As long as it's a tight storyline, I'm cool with non-created characters. I've never really been that big into created characters.
Really?
Because
not
Souls
really, or Fallout, or none of.
Not really,
bro.
I mean,
why do you restart your game like 1,000 times? You create your character.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I don't need a created character. I need a good storyline, and that tends to become more easy with a solid protagonist.
Maybe they should stop making games where you create your character, because then you probably could beat games faster. instead of restarting them 7 times. Anyways,
I mean, I want all the RPG mechanics. Don't get me wrong. I just don't care what I look like. Most of the time, I just go with the default, male or female setting. Anyway.
and yo, man, if your character's gonna look as cute as the one does in this game, by all means, bro, them bangs. Oh gosh, they got me.
Little Asian honey bangs.
Oh gosh, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, okay, all right, I'm fine with this. So yeah, I will absolutely play this to stare at that face all day. But anyways, it looked pretty graphically good. The gameplay I watched at Ubisoft's was pretty solid. Again, like, okay, if they put their Ubisoft formula, that doesn't make it a bad game. It's just a bit lazy and uninspired. And for a game, like for their first crack at Star Wars, and everyone saw how bad it was with EA and how good it's been with Respawn, I hope it pushes them to to try different things. I hope the dev team was like, no watchtowers or whatever you want to call it, like none of that.
No climbing.
No climbing mechanics.
In this game at all.
None of them. She doesn't. She has no idea how to climb. She can't. She can jump, but she cannot climb. Also, since she's an outlaw and not a force wielder, that would make some sense. And so I think actually, yeah, with her being an outlaw and at least as far as we know, not a force wielder, I think that does make them have to not just do all those crazy open world stuff like how Cal can, So in the Jedi game, so. I'm hoping that when we see more of it and we see kind of like the world is and like what things you got to do, I hope it does. I hope they try new things. That's all I'm gonna ask from Ubisoft. Just do different things. This is your first shot at Star Wars. You came off strong, so I'm just hoping you continue with that. Anyway, so that was that, and then we got a new narrative horror game called Still Wakes the Deep. They didn't show off very much of it.
Yeah, it's from the people who did Amnesia, so it's going to be...
Yes. Dear Esther, Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, and Amnesia, a Machine for Pigs. They're called the Chinese Room. That is their dev team name. I have played Dear Esther, and I have played Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Now, they focus more on the indie side of games, and where it's like... they're all 3 of those games are kind of like walking simulators, but like horror walking simulators. Amnesia
puzzle mechanics.
Amnesia is the most horror, like straight up horror, out of the three of those games. Dear Esther and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture are more subliminal horror.
It's creepy.
There's more, very unsettling and creepy rather than straight up horror like Amnesia is. But those 2 games though were really good. Like I remember I played both of them, and even if it was a bit creepy and unsettling, the story was very, very interesting to kind of see like what was going on in this world. Because as a walking simulator, you're just like kind of a nobody. You're not even like you don't have feet. Like you're just a embodiment, I guess, just going around the world, and you get to see like whatever happened in the story they're telling. So if this follows the same formula, it will be interesting to see. If it's not too crazy with the horror, I may give it a go, because I'm not playing Amnesia. That's the hardest I've gone is Soma. Soma is probably the craziest I've gone. I actually did play that and beat it, and that's only because they added a safe mode into the game where like the main like stalking enemy can't kill you. It can hurt you, but it can't kill you, and so that's the only reason why, because it takes away that fear of dying and everything when know like it isn't. But even then, it was still creepy as shit. Anyways, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. They have a good track record. I'm sure it'll be really good to get another one of those kind of good games in there from them. So, and then so that's it for the games. But one last quick thing. There is... Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, that's not all. Okay, so sorry. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. They showed off way more of that.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It looks dope.
I won't play it.
ESO Necrom, new expansion. I mean, what more can you say? Cool. They're just continuing to push that game. Fallout 76, same thing, going to Atlantic City. The more they keep adding these areas into Fallout 76, it just makes me wish that we could just get a new Fallout game in these areas.
Get a new Fallout game in Atlantic City.
Get it out of 76 and put it in its own game. Like, even if it's like a small game. Like, anyways. So, that's coming. The Dune ship that you mentioned is coming to Flight Simulator. Oh, Overwatch 2 is actually getting story missions where we thought we weren't getting them.
No, So we were always told, even after the cancellation of the single-player campaign, we were told at that time that there will be PvE stuff, but it was the story, the single-player campaign that was canceled, And they were like, but don't worry, we're still going to tell a story in these
I
PvE
see.
things.
Okay, well, this is our first bit of it.
This is the first one.
Where we get 3 story missions. They're calling them story missions, so maybe they'll be the beginnings of setting up that campaign that we were told. Maybe they're doing it now in chunks instead of a full-fledged one-piece thing.
Just might be wordage.
And there's gonna be co-op missions as well, like straight up actual missions. You do in co-op. They're gonna create, bring in some new heroes. Let's see how it goes. If they ever separate the story stuff or PvE stuff from the main game, I may give it a go.
It's free to play anyway. I mean, it wouldn't take much.
No. Anyways, so yeah. So that's coming. Oh, and then there's a Legend of Monkey Island crossover with Sea of Thieves. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
get it more wacky than it already is.
So I mean, hey, why not? I think it's a good fit. So that's all the DLC related things, or like crossover stuff or whatever. One last thing, there is a new Xbox coming, a new Xbox Series S with a 1 terabyte hard drive to match the Xbox Series X. And so it's going to be in black, so it's kind of like the reverse of what they did last generation with that kind of stuff. But yeah, so it's gonna be kind of cool for those who still don't really care about discs, but are hurting for that with that reduced file size. So,
but also, I mean, you still don't have like the beefiness.
And still, you still do have some reduced specs. I mean, you're still gonna be able to play all the latest games, but just I guess not to the greatest fidelity or performance. But you're still gonna play. It's still gonna work way better than an Xbox One. Oh yeah. So
which again, hopefully, at least for me, none of these games will be coming to the Xbox One.
Yeah, so with that was Xbox's whole showcase. It took us about just as long as they did to present it for us to talk about it. It was again.
So I guess you guys could just watch the showcase.
Or you could do that. Screw us. Just go watch the showcase. It'd be funner, I bet. But yeah, like that wraps it up. This was a good showcase. Now I'm not saying Xbox has had bad ones, but in the past, but like they really needed this,
Yeah, they did what they needed to do, especially with how they've kind of been slacking recently, and then with the opportunity that the kind of poor showing of Sony did, they did what they needed to do. It looked great, and we'll have to see. Hopefully, this is good for gaming all around.
Now, what I want to know is back to these first party titles. So. Okay, so not all of these, at least on this site, they don't always mention like most of them don't mention like a release date or anything like that.
No, that was another thing that people were kind of dogging on, is that there's only 2 games confirmed coming out this year.
Yeah, so at least
Starfield and Jasant, I think.
Jasant, okay. That's for first party stuff. Obviously, a lot of the third party things will come over as well, which is great. But yeah, that first party things. Well, to see, I read an article. I didn't really read. I saw a headline that apparently they're kind of reiterating that 1 game per quarter promise that they did last year or whatever ago.
Starting now.
We'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. I mean, if they starting next quarter, then that would be Starfield for September in Q3, at the end of Q3 actually. And then so we'll have to see what would come during the Christmas time. Because a lot of the stuff was confirmed for next year.
I mean, just if I'm just looking at names and not thinking about like how long the games have been in development, out of all the games mentioned, like either Forza or Fable, like it would have to be Christmas time. It would need to be one of those 2.
Yeah.
So probably Forza.
On this site, it doesn't. On Xbox's site, they didn't give a date for Forza. Because I agree, Forza would be. I think Forza is the more likely option. Wait, no, October 10th, Forza. Here it is. Sorry, it made it a bit kind of blended in with the rest of the text. So, okay, so we have October for Forza, so that's their Q4 big game, at least that game. A lot of stuff, though, was for next year. Microsoft Flight Simulator, Senua Saga, Avowed.
Probably Fable.
So, Fable, I don't know, man. That might come out 2025 for all I know.
That's true.
But a lot of the things, who knows, right? So, we'll have to see what happens if they can if they can keep that promise for 1 game a quarter. What I said years ago, what I said like in 2021, 20 whatever, like when we saw them buy all these products and buy all these developers, it's what I said then is going to be finally coming true. I said give this 2-3 years and Xbox is going to be coming hard. and PlayStation is going to have to take notice finally. And you know what? Because Xbox's showcase was so good, I'm hoping that it makes PlayStation feel like they have to maybe do a redo, like give us a new showcase, like maybe in the, during the winter or something, like to kind of show us some more stuff, like because
if they got it in their pocket.
Because like I heard that they kind of went a little soft because of the Summer Games Fest, and then like with Ubisoft having some stuff and Capcom, but like Capcom's was nothing, so I'm not even worried about that. Ubisoft, they showed a lot of the stuff that they're making and mixed with some third party stuff, so that was like whatever. Summer Games Fest, yeah, it had some stuff that was shown, but like if like it wasn't just for them, it was also for Xbox or Nintendo or whatever, or third party stuff that's on for both. I'm just like, even if you include that in there, it's like I'm like, if what I saw Summer Games Fest and then with PlayStation Showcase, if that's all that PlayStation has to show and offer, it still felt like that would be pretty paltry for PlayStation as opposed to what Xbox had and it mixed in with Summer Games Fest. So yeah, PlayStation better bring it next year. That's all I'm gonna ask, or something.
Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys are excited for. Let us know how big of an impact you think this has on PlayStation and Xbox, and all your thoughts on it down in the comments below. RJ will definitely respond to them. I'll probably hop on and respond to a couple.
Yeah, I saw you respond to one about the emulator. I saw that. Yeah. So if you have emulator stuff, how to do it. He'll only answer you if you talk about emulators. So
I have no idea how to do it. Unless it comes fully on the app, I probably won't mess with it.
If he has to mess with packages and scripts and all that stuff, he's out of there. I mean, I've had to mess with that a few times. I was messing around with save files like on PS3. To like, because you can not really, it's like part of the homebrew scene or whatever, or the modding scene, but like you can take save files and then you have to repurpose them so that fits your system. It's a way, it's the thing people can do to get trophies, like especially ones that are like no longer attainable. Gotcha. Or just way too hard. I did it once. It's a nightmare.
Let us know. We'll talk to you, and we will see you guys next time.
We'll see you next week, everybody. Goodbye. Bye.